Talent has absolutely nothing to do with why some people get rich and you do not.
I always look at IQ and talent as sort of representing the horsepower of the motor, but then in terms of the output, the efficiency with which the motor works, that depends on rationality.
The problem is entirely skill set. It's not that you're average. It's that you don't have a skill set.
I do think that we should all challenge ourselves to be self-aware and try to figure out the talents. And then if we're lucky that those talents match something we're interested in doing, we have to go pot committed to that.
Wealth is simply the result of doing the exact same boring, highly effective habits every single day until you win.
What you're describing is often sometimes called a keystone habit. And the idea is you do one thing and it like ripples into other areas of your life.
Every single qualification for success is acquired through habit.
At your age, you will have the habits 20 years from now that you decide to put into practice today. So I just suggest that you look at the habits you admire in others, or the behavior you admire in others, and make those your own habits.
If you rely on random bursts of motivation instead of building these habits, you will completely fail at every business you try to start.
People form habits and habits form futures. If you don't deliberately form good habits, then unconsciously you form bad ones.
I took various people that I really admired, and I took some of the qualities that I really admired in them and I'd write them down. I wasn't going to be like them, but I was going to develop a couple of these qualities or habits.
Aristotle said that 95% of everything you do is the result of habit. So the rule is form good habits and make them your masters.
Let's look at Warren Buffett. He did not build his massive wealth by guessing stock prices or relying on natural talent. He built it by using the most boring habit imaginable. He spends 80% of his day just sitting alone in a quiet room, reading 500 pages of financial reports and books. He started from scratch and used this exact daily action to compound his knowledge until he became a billionaire. The magic is always in the boring repetition. Now, you might be thinking, Evan, I don't have time to sit in a room for 8 hours a day, and I definitely do not have money to invest. But that's exactly the point. You do not need money and you do not need 8 free hours. You just need to build the right small habits that take $0 to start. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what those 5 daily actions are so you can start building real wealth right now. If you've been here before, drop a hashtag Believe in the comments below so I can feature you here in a future video. And if you're new, welcome to Believe Nation, the only channel that helps you believe in yourself daily, one video at a time. Believe. Habit number 1, reprogram your environment. So you are a direct reflection of the information that you consume every single day. If your bank account is at $0 right now, your current environment is perfectly designed to keep you exactly where you are. You cannot expect to build a massive financial empire while you listen to negative news and hang your own people who constantly complain. You must take strict control over the voices that you allow into your head. Every morning, you have a distinct choice. You can scroll through social media and feel terrible about your life, or you can intentionally put the voices of massive success into your ear. So I do this practice every morning. I call it the Believe Walk. I do not wake up feeling naturally like I want to go off and conquer the world. I wake up and I'm tired and I could think about the overwhelm of my day ahead. So I go outside, walk for 15 minutes, and intentionally put a video of a famous entrepreneur on while I'm going outside. I listen to their stories because I need their belief. I want their ambition to completely take over my mind. And the science actually really backs this up. The American Psychological Association published a massive report showing that constantly consuming negative media increases your stress levels and completely kills your motivation to act. So you have to cut the negativity out of your life today. Unsubscribe from the channels that make you feel small and defeated. Start your day with a video or a podcast from someone who forces you to think bigger. Take the Believe Walk challenge with us. Once you fix your daily environment, you will finally have the mental energy to take action. But energy alone will not make you wealthy. You have to actually move. And the fastest way to do that is what I will show you in the next habit. Habit number 2, build instant momentum. Perfectionism is just a fancy word for fear, right? You're just afraid. Waiting for the perfect business plan or the perfect camera gear will completely keep you broke forever. Getting rich from $0 requires you to build the daily habit of taking messy, uncomfortable action. The biggest thing you're missing right now is just momentum. The very first step is always the hardest step to take. You just need to start moving. When I started this YouTube channel, I was a shy, introverted kid from Toronto. I sucked on camera. I made 350 videos before I could even watch myself without feeling completely embarrassed by myself, by most of my content. Most of those early videos got very few views, but I built the daily habit of hitting record anyway. I expected to suck at the start. And that one habit of every day showing up with imperfect action is exactly what built this empire. Taking small daily actions physically changes your brain structure. A famous psychology study published in the European Journal of Social Psychology proved that practicing a small daily behavior turns it into an automatic habit over time. So it completely bypasses the need for daily motivation. Stop overthinking your grand master plan. Find the tiny 2% difference that you can make right now today. Send one single email, record one bad video, write one rough page. Just build the momentum. Also, if you want to take real action after this video, I made a free worksheet just for you. It covers the top lessons from today, gives you space to write your biggest takeaways, and helps you create a simple action plan. It's 100% free. Just click the link in the description below to go grab it. I'll see you there. Taking action is incredible, but you cannot just run in a random direction. You need to point that powerful momentum at a specific problem to actually make real money. That reality leads directly to the third habit. Habit number 3, turn your pain into purpose. You do not need to invent a crazy new technology to get rich. The most profitable business ideas come directly from your own personal struggles. Your true purpose always comes from your deepest pain. The people who make the most money in the world are simply the ones who solve the biggest problems for other people. So if you want to know exactly what businesses start with $0, look at the hardest thing that you have ever overcome in your own life. You are uniquely qualified to help the exact person that you used to be. So I struggled horribly in my first business. I was making $300 a month and I felt completely alone. I wanted to quit. I told my business partner one day that I wanted to quit. I survived that deep pain, and now my life is dedicated to helping entrepreneurs so they do not have to struggle the same way I did. You can look at Oprah Winfrey. She survived extreme poverty and childhood trauma. She did not hide from her painful past. She used her deep understanding of human suffering to build a massive media empire focused on empathy and healing. She turned her absolute darkest moments into her greatest financial asset. So every single day, you can ask yourself, how can you serve someone else who is currently facing the pain that you already beat? When you wake up every day trying to solve a real problem for real people, the money will naturally follow. But you still need a proven strategy to execute your purpose. This is exactly where the fourth habit changes everything. Habit number 4, model the greats. Trying to figure everything out on your own is a massive waste of time. Whatever you want to achieve, somebody else in history has already done it. You do not have to guess. You just have to model success. The biggest mistake you can make right now is looking at a billionaire today and trying to copy their current daily routine. You must copy their rise, not the result. You have to study exactly what they did on day one when they had $0, just like you. When I was failing in my first software company, I didn't know what to do. I called my partner, I told him I quit. It was one of the worst nights of my life. And so I looked at a successful software entrepreneur to model. I picked Bill Gates. I said exactly how he got his very first client when Microsoft was just a tiny startup in a dusty garage. I took his exact strategy, applied it to my own struggling business, and landed my first deal that completely saved my company. Psychology calls this process observational learning. Albert Bandura published a famous theory called the social learning theory. He proved that people learn new behaviors the absolute fastest simply by observing and imitating others. So pick your ultimate hero, or at least pick someone who's done the thing that you want to do. Find out what they did when they were completely broke. Practice the habit of copying their beginner actions every single day. So you now have the environment, the momentum, the purpose, and the model, but there is one final daily habit that will hold everything together when times get incredibly tough. Habit number 5, audit your belief system. Lack of belief is the biggest problem in the entire world right now. You can have the best business model and the perfect mentor, but if you do not believe you can actually win, you will self-sabotage before you even start. Building wealth from $0 requires you to practice extreme self-belief every day. When the people around you tell you that your idea is crazy, you have to be the one who stands strong. You have to borrow belief from your heroes until you can generate it for yourself. So think about exactly who you were 10 years ago. You are an absolute impossibility right now to your younger self. The things you have survived and the things you have accomplished would completely blow the mind of the younger you. You have to apply the same logic to your future. Dr. Carol Dweck from Stanford University spent decades proving that your core belief about your own potential directly dictates your financial success. People who practice a daily growth mindset actually rewire their physical brains to overcome massive failures and build wealth. So every single day, you must consciously train your mind to reject doubt. Trust that the ideas that come to you when you feel bold are the right ones. Your daily belief is the only engine that will drive you from $0 to absolute financial freedom. Your time is now. So take the tools from today and start building your legacy right now. Do not let fear keep you trapped in a financial situation you hate. Make today count by taking one tiny step forward. Your future wealth depends entirely on the choices you make today. And congratulations, you're one video closer to who you're meant to be. Believe. Now let's learn how to craft your perfect life. If you don't design the life you want, you'll end up living a life you don't. Most people drift through their days, letting others call the shots, then wonder why they feel stuck. If you never take control, you'll look back and see you traded your dreams for someone else's plan. There's a famous parable about a fisherman and a businessman. The businessman urges the fisherman to expand, to work tirelessly for decades so he can eventually relax and enjoy life. But the fisherman laughs. He's already spending his days doing what he loves with the people he loves. The lesson here is to know what you actually want out of life and to live it now instead of blindly following what others think you should do. When I was 19, I lived that lesson. I had a high-paying job offer on the table, my ticket to the safe, successful life that everyone expected, and I turned it down to make $300 a month and own a piece of a startup. Why? Because I imagined myself at 40 looking back, miserable that I never gave my dream a shot. I thought, if I don't do this, I'll regret it for the rest of my life. And the fear of regret was stronger than the fear of failure. So I took control and designed my own path, and it was the best decision I ever made. Now, maybe you're thinking, that sounds great, but I can't just redesign my life. I have responsibilities. I'm too deep in my career. It's too late for me. Listen, that doubt is exactly why you must start now. If you have a family depending on you, that's all the more reason to build a life that you are proud of, to set an example and give them the best of you. If you think you're too old, then you definitely don't have time to waste living someone else's dream. You can use every obstacle you have as more motivation to get this right, not less. So, no more waiting, no more excuses. Today, let's start designing the life that you want. Here are 5 practical steps to do it. Let's dive in. Step number 1, take full ownership of your life. No one is coming to save you or hand you your dream life. It's on you. The first step is to accept that completely. Psychologists call this an internal locus of control, and research shows people who have it are far more successful, healthier, and happier. Here's what it means. When you believe that you shape your destiny, you actually do. So starting right now, own everything in your life, the good and the bad. Don't blame your boss, the economy, or your past. The moment you take responsibility for where you are, you gain the power to change where you're going. This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about recognizing that you are in control of you. My mom drilled this into me from a young age. She used to tell me, if you have the ability, you have the responsibility. If you can, then you must. And she was right. You can improve your life, so you must. It might feel heavy to carry that responsibility, but trust me, it's also liberating, because if it's your responsibility, it's within your control. The life you want is not some lottery ticket. It's a choice, and you're making that choice every day with your actions as well as your inaction. So decide right now that you're in charge of your life's design. When you truly internalize that, you'll feel an incredible surge of power and clarity. This is your life, and claiming it is step 1 to changing it. Step number 2, define a clear vision. Find your why. You can't design a life you love if you don't know what you want. So step 2 is to get crystal clear on your vision and your why. What does your ideal life look like? More importantly, why does it matter to you? Take the time to answer these questions in vivid detail. Write it down. Studies show you're 42% more likely to achieve your goals just by writing them down. Don't just say, I want to be happy or I want success. Paint a specific picture. I want to run my own marketing firm, helping small businesses grow, or I want to live in a cabin by the lake and write my novel. Whatever it is for you, define it so clearly that you can taste it. Because if you don't have a target, you'll hit nothing. Now, let's talk about purpose. A vision isn't just about the what, it's about the why. One of the best ways to find your purpose is to look at your pain. I believe your purpose comes from your pain. The biggest struggles you've overcome are the ones that you are uniquely equipped to help other people through. The challenges that knocked you down, the people that hurt you, the problems that you solved for yourself, those experiences gave you strength. Use them. Maybe you fought through poverty, or you beat an illness, or you overcame extreme shyness. Whatever it is, that story can become your mission. In my early entrepreneurship days, I struggled hard. I felt alone. I felt like a failure, and that was painful. That pain became my purpose. I'm now driven to help other entrepreneurs so they don't have to struggle as much as I did. Your pain can motivate your purpose in the same way. When you know why you're doing something, you'll find the strength to do anything. So get clear on what you want and why you want it. That vision will be your North Star when things get tough. Step number 3, take immediate, imperfect action. Now that you know what you want, it's time to get moving. Step 3 is to take action before you feel 100% ready. Most people wait and wait for the perfect timing, the perfect plan, more certainty, and they never go anywhere. Do not fall into that trap. A good plan executed today beats a perfect plan never executed. Clarity comes from doing, not just thinking about it. When you take even a small step, you get feedback, you learn, and you build momentum. I had to learn this in the hard way. Early in my career, I was such a perfectionist that I spent an entire summer writing and polishing the perfect business plan instead of actually talking to customers. And guess what? An opportunity came and went while I was planning, and I missed out on a $40 million deal because I wasn't ready to act. Now that hurt, but it taught me something valuable. I'll tell you exactly what I realized. Most of your plan is going to be wrong anyway, so get out there and test your assumptions. I stopped overthinking and started doing, and it made a huge difference. Now, maybe you're afraid that if you act now, you might fail. So try this as a reframe. Not acting is the only guaranteed failure. According to Psychology Today, 92% of people never achieve their goals largely because they never follow through. And I don't want you to be in that 92%. So break your biggest vision into the smallest possible step and do it today. Send that email, create that prototype, wake up an hour earlier, whatever moves you an inch closer, do it. You won't have all the answers, and that's okay. You'll figure it out as you go. Action creates clarity. Action builds confidence. Every step you take sends your brain evidence that you're the kind of person who takes charge. So stop waiting, start now, adjust later. Your future self will thank you. Step number 4, surround yourself with support and belief. Designing your dream life is not a solo project. You are massively influenced by the people and the inputs around you. So step number 4 is to build a winning environment. Surround yourself with people who lift you higher, who challenge you, who believe in you, especially when you struggle to believe in yourself. Motivation doesn't last on an island. We all have moments of doubt, and that's when your environment will make or break you. Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins' mentor, famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." And there's truth in that. If your 5 closest contacts are ambitious, positive, and supportive, you're going to rise up. If they're negative, complacent, cynical, they're going to pull you down. So do an audit on who and what you're letting into your head. Sometimes you might need to set boundaries with naysayers. You might need to actively seek out mentors or people who inspire you. And here's something incredible. One study found that if you simply tell a friend about a goal you're working on, your chance of achieving it jumps to 65%. And if you set up regular check-ins with that friend, it shoots to 95%. That's how powerful support and accountability are. Use that to your advantage. Find an accountability partner, join a mastermind group, or just ask a friend to keep you honest. And remember, support isn't only from people you know personally. Borrowed belief is real. You can draw strength from other stories and mentorship until you build enough of it on your own. In the early days, I borrowed belief from my mom's encouragement. Later, I borrowed it from people like Oprah Winfrey. I'd read about how she overcame extreme poverty and unimaginable challenges, and yet look what she built. Her story proved to me what's possible. I filled my environment with voices and examples that push me forward. Books, videos like this, virtual mentors, they can all be part of your support system. Borrow belief from your environment until you build it yourself. That's how you get through the early stages. So Curate your world. Follow people who inspire you. Cut out the content that depresses you. Share your dreams with those who will cheer you on and hold you accountable. When you surround yourself with positivity and belief, you'll have the motivation and the courage to keep going when things get tough. Step number 5, embrace failure and adapt for the long game. The final step is to treat your life design as an ongoing process. No plan will be perfect, and that's okay. You need to embrace failure as feedback and stay consistent for the long haul. When things go wrong, and trust me, they will, don't see it as proof that you can't do it. See it as part of the process of becoming who you're meant to be. Thomas Edison famously said about inventing the light bulb, "I haven't failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset you need. In psychology, this is called a growth mindset, the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. People with this mindset thrive on challenges and persist through their setbacks. They understand that failure is not permanent, it's just a stepping stone, so keep that perspective. Every setback is teaching you something. Now, I'm not just preaching here. I try to live this. When I started my YouTube channel, it took me 5 years to crack 2,000 subscribers. 5 years of pouring my heart into videos, experimenting, failing, feeling like nothing was working. Most people would have quit, but I kept adjusting and improving instead. In the next 5 years, that 2,000 grew to 1.3 million. Today, this channel has over 4 million subscribers, and it only happened because I stayed in the game. Years of struggle and self-doubt set the stage for an overnight success that was a decade in the making. There was also a time my team and I got all of our camera gear stolen the night before a major shoot. We woke up with nothing, thousands of dollars of equipment gone. We could have seen it as a sign to pack it in. Instead, we chose to adapt. We rented new gear, we showed up anyway, and filmed. And you know what happened? The interview we recorded turned out to be one of our best, and the experience taught me to have faith and that great things come to me. I learned that even when a branch breaks under you, you can rely on your wings. A bird on a branch isn't afraid of it breaking because its trust is in its own wings. Even if the plan fails, you can figure it out. The belief has to be in yourself, not just the plan. Designing the life you want is a journey, not a one-time project. You will stumble, you will make mistakes. Good, that means you're moving. Learn from every misstep and keep going. Iterate, adjust your course, but never abandon your vision. The only way you lose for sure is if you give up. As long as you keep getting back up, you're still moving towards your dream. Pick one step from today and execute on it within the next 24 hours. Even if it's tiny, do it. Your future self is watching, and today you get to make them proud. Remember, you don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to take the next step in faith and then the next. Now let's learn how to make your business grow faster by mastering the art of saying no. Saying yes to everything is destroying your business growth. You want to scale quickly? Start saying no to most opportunities in your life. That's the truth. In business, new ideas, requests, and opportunities hit you every day. It feels like you should grab them all just in case. But if you keep saying yes to everything, you'll drown in busy work, in other people's agendas, and in burnout. Your vision will stall because you're too scattered to execute on what actually matters. Look at Steve Jobs. When he returned to a struggling Apple in 1997, the company was chasing projects in 18 different directions. Apple had a ton of products and ideas on the table, and it was going nowhere. Jobs' first act was to slash their product line from hundreds of products down to just a handful. He literally killed off good ideas by the thousands so the great ideas could live. People thought he was crazy, but by saying no to almost everything, he saved Apple. He later said, "Innovation is saying no to 1,000 things." And Apple's explosive growth after 1997 proved him right. Cutting those projects provided the laser focus that brought us the iMac, the iPhones, and what we know as Apple today. Before I started this YouTube channel, I had a website with over 100,000 pages of content, entrepreneur stories, resources, partnerships. It was my baby. It was doing well on paper, and I had a team of 8 people working on it, but my heart wasn't in it anymore. It felt like a content factory, and I didn't enjoy it. So one night, I made one of the scariest decisions of my life. I told my team, I'm shutting it all down and moving the entire team to YouTube. Overnight, I deleted the site, wiped out years of work, and replaced it with a single page that basically said, we're figuring stuff out and we're moving to YouTube now. Everyone around me thought I'd lost my mind. To them, it was reckless, throwing away a successful business. But I knew in my gut, doing work you don't love is the real risk. Continuing that huge website that no longer inspired me was a slow death. The safe move was to pivot into what I did love, making videos. So I told myself, doing something you don't like anymore is the risky thing. The safe choice is to move towards what you do love. And you know what? Shutting down that 100,000 page site and saying no to its endless demands was a defining moment that built my YouTube empire. That one no let me give all my energy to YouTube. Now, you might be thinking, but I'm afraid to miss out on opportunities or offend people if I say no. And I hear you. Every entrepreneur feels that. You worry that if you decline an invite or turn down a client or pass an idea, you'll miss your one big break. You worry you're going to upset people. But every time you say yes when you should say no, you are already missing out on your focus, your energy, and your greatness. If you say yes to 5 mediocre opportunities, you've said no to one excellent opportunity you no longer have time for. You can't do it all. And if you try, you'll do nothing well. As for offending people, the right partners, clients, friends, they will respect you more for being clear about your priorities. And the people who get angry when you set healthy boundaries, they're not the people who will help you grow anyway. So don't sacrifice your dream to avoid a temporary awkward conversation. Missing out on one small thing is nothing compared to missing out on your dream because you were too busy people pleasing. All right, so how do you actually do this? How does saying no translate into real business growth for you? Let's break it down. How saying no grows your business faster. You protect your focus, and focus multiplies progress. Every yes you give is a slice of your time and attention. Spread yourself across 10 projects, and none of them get your best. But when you say no to distractions, you free up massive mental bandwidth for the one or two things that truly move the needle. There's a reason Warren Buffett says very successful people say no to almost everything. They protect their focus like gold. Studies show that each time you switch tasks, you can lose up to 40% of your productive time. Imagine chopping away 40% of your day just because you're juggling too many things. That's what happens when you don't say no. But when you do protect your focus, you enter deep work. You get in the zone and make real progress fast. Think about my story or Steve Jobs's. Cutting the clutter, let us explode forward. Your dream deserves that same focus. Say no to 5 things so you can crush the one big thing. The result is faster growth than you ever get by being a yes man or yes woman. It prevents burnout and overwhelm. Saying no isn't just about speed, it's about sustainability. You are the engine of your business. And if you burn out, everything stops. One of the top reasons entrepreneurs burn out is overcommitment. You load up your calendar with 100 tasks and please everyone except yourself. By contrast, setting clear boundaries and saying no when you need to is proven to boost productivity and prevent burnout. In a recent study, entrepreneurs of every generation ranked the ability to increase focus and say no as critical for their productivity and sanity. You can't pour from an empty cup. When you start saying no, you reclaim time to rest, to think, to actually strategize instead of always scrambling. Maybe that means no to meetings after 6 o'clock or no to clients that drain you. Early in my career, I tried to hustle 24/7 and say yes to everything, and I hit a wall. I learned that if you overload, you shut down, and then you're no good to anyone. But when you pace yourself and decline extra obligations, you can bring consistent energy every day. Consistency beats spurts of overwork followed by collapse. Your business will grow faster when you are at your best, and that means protecting your mental and physical health. So give yourself permission to say, I can't take this on right now, and watch how much further you go over the long term. Quality and impact go up. When you stop trying to do everything, you can finally do something right. Saying no leads to better work because you're not stretched paper thin. Think of a restaurant with a 10-page menu versus one with a focused 5-item menu. The 5-item place is usually phenomenal at those 5 dishes. The 10-page menu, probably mediocre. Your business is the same. If you as a CEO or founder are involved in every minor project, you can't devote the attention needed to make any one project outstanding. But if you say, no, we're not chasing that shiny idea this quarter, you can double down on executing your primary strategy with excellence. The result is happier customers, better reviews, more referrals, faster growth. When I shifted fully to YouTube, for example, I went from doing an okay job at many things to doing a much better job at one thing, making videos for entrepreneurs. Our content quality shot up because all of our creative energy was in one place. Viewers noticed and we grew. Saying no to some opportunities is really saying yes to giving your best to what's left. And greatness comes from giving your best. Psychologically, it also puts you in a flow state. You're not constantly context switching, so you can refine and master your craft. And over time, being excellent at a few things will beat being just okay at many things. Your reputation will soar, and so will your results. You save time for the right opportunities. Not every opportunity is equal. 10 small gigs that pay pennies are not worth the one big deal that changes your life. But if your schedule is packed with the small stuff, you'll never even notice the big ones. Saying no creates open space in your calendar and in your mind. And that space is where the breakthroughs happen. It's where you can pursue that strategic partnership, that product development, that $1 million client when it comes along. If it's not a hell yes, it should be a no. That's a rule that I love. Be selective. This not only preserves your energy, as we talked about, but it means when a truly great opportunity appears, you can jump on it 100%. Opportunities are always coming and going. If you're buried in low value yeses, you'll be too slow or too exhausted to seize the high value yes that could change your life. Treat your time like the precious resource that it is. It's finite. So audit your commitments. Which ones are nice to have versus game changers? Cut ruthlessly. This isn't about being lazy or avoiding work. You'll work harder on the few things that actually count, but it's about not being busy for the sake of busy. Remember, being busy is not the same as being productive. The most successful entrepreneurs often look like they're doing less than others, but in reality, they're doing far more of the one or two things that matter. That's the only way to get exponential results. Create room for greatness to enter. It builds your confidence and defines your brand. Every time you say no to something that isn't right, you're telling yourself and the world that you know your value and your mission, and that's powerful. Think about it. When you politely decline an offer that doesn't fit, you're essentially saying, I know what I'm worth and what I need to focus on. That confidence becomes part of your brand. People will start approaching you with better offers because they know you won't accept just anything. You train others to respect your time. More importantly, you train yourself to trust your judgment. In my case, saying no to my old website business and saying yes to YouTube was a huge confidence booster. It proved to me that I could make a tough call in service of my dream, and I've carried that forward. Believing in yourself is at the core of everything that I teach, and saying no is a big part of self-belief. You need to believe that your goals and your time are worthy of protection. It's an emotional hurdle. You might feel fear or guilt at first, but every time you enforce your boundaries, you get stronger. You start to own your journey instead of renting it out to everyone else. And here's something amazing. Others will notice your new strength. Your ideal clients, your partners, even team members will be drawn to that clarity of purpose you now have. Saying no can actually inspire people. It shows conviction. It shows you're mission driven. In a world where everyone is chasing everything, the person with direction stands out. You become a leader by sticking to your vision. So next time you're tempted to say yes out of fear, pause. Ask yourself, does this align with the person you're becoming and the business you're building? If not, saying no is an act of leadership. It's you leading you, and that confidence will translate into greater success. The bottom line is saying no is not about negativity. It's about making room for big wins. You're not just rejecting things, you're choosing where your brilliance goes. When you say no to one thing, you're really saying yes to something bigger. You're saying yes to your vision, yes to your focus, yes to your health, yes to your best work. That is how your business grows faster, because you grow faster and you give yourself the chance to fully capitalize on the best opportunities. You have the courage to do this. I know it's not easy. It's hard to turn people down or pass on an idea, but this is the price of admission for your greatness. Protect your dream at all costs. Be bold enough to say no when your heart tells you to. Your future self will thank you for it when you're reaping the rewards of all those brilliant yeses you finally had space to pursue. To learn how to break through your limits and grow your business faster, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there. Most entrepreneurs have big missions. You want to change your industry or even the world, but far too often we aim too low and hold ourselves back. I recently coached an entrepreneur who was playing small in his business.